First off, I have to say, this is the best game I think I've ever worked on. At least it was the most fun I've ever had. Intelligent Systems, the developer of this game, the previous Paper Mario games, they're absolutely hilarious. So, as a writer working with that material originally, I have a fleet of amazing translators that help me along with it. And so, being able to build off of a base that is already absurdly hilarious and be able to just embellish that and go with it is pretty much the writer's dream. In the beginning of the game, Mario and Luigi are hanging out in their house, chilling out, and a Toad comes up and says, "Oh my God, Princess Peach has been kidnapped." And they're like, "Oh, okay, well it's got to be Bowser." And then they show up to Bowser's house and they're like, "Hey Bowser, why'd you kidnap Princess Peach?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I was actually just about to go do that right now, and I haven't started yet." And this crazy count comes in and is like, "Oh, I have Princess Peach," and he actually takes her and mind controls her to marry Bowser, because his goal in life is to basically create this rift in the universe that destroys all of the worlds. Obviously, the Paper Mario series has always been about comedy and just not taking yourself seriously, and this game is really funny. You start off as Mario, and you have a sidekick named Tippy. Tippy's this kind of a digital butterfly that flies around with you. Kind of gives you hints along, helps you along in the game. As the game progresses, you're actually going to get Princess Peach and Bowser, and Bowser can actually lay some serious hurt on you. He can incinerate enemies with his fire, and Bowser's kind of a chunky, chubby dude, and he can, if he smashes on and stomps people, he does double damage. Princess Peach, just adorable in this game. She can actually float around with her parasol, and when she's on the ground, she can hide under it and hit enemy attacks. Mario's ability is he can flip the world totally on its side, and that's pretty much the primary awesome part about this game, is that on top of the fact that it's an awesome 2D side-scrolling action game, probably one of the best ever made, on top of that it has this really unique feature where all you have to do is hit the A button. You flip the whole world on its side, and you're seeing the whole world in a 3D perspective. It's one of those concepts you think, well, why haven't people thought about doing this before? And when you play it that way, it gives you new perspectives on stuff that you've never seen before. For example, in Chapter 3, there's an area where you drop down a pipe, and it's a perfect recreation of World 1-2 from Super Mario Brothers. You complete with the music and everything. And you're like, oh, I played this before, I know this is awesome. And then you actually hit the A button, flip the world, and you see that thing that's ingrained in your mind. You've played it a million times, and you see it from a totally new perspective, and you're like, oh, whoa, this is amazing. You actually hold a Wii Remote sideways. So the gameplay plays a lot like Super Mario Brothers for the old school people. Also, people that played new Super Mario Brothers for the DS. Very similar control scheme. It feels really comfortable immediately. So it has some cool Wii Remote functionality, though, that's really unique to it. Primarily when you're running around, you stomp on a Koopa, you fly up in the air. If you actually tilt the Wii Remote and shake it, you can pull off stylish maneuvers. On top of that, if you're ever stuck, that digital butterfly with you, that Tippy, you actually just point the Wii Remote, you hold the controller like this, you point the Wii Remote at the screen, and you can get hints. As like a flashlight on the screen, you actually get hints on what you need to get help with. On top of that, you've got items, special items that you can use. You need to throw some fire, you have to shake the Wii Remote. This game is absolutely huge. I would expect 30, 50, I don't know how many hours. It's an absolutely huge game, especially for a game that is primarily an awesome 2D side-scrolling action Mario kind of game. But it has that RPG element to it. You're gaining experience points, you're getting more hit points, you're getting better attack power, you're buying items. You're going into towns and talking to people. To do absolutely everything, I can't even imagine. I've never even done it, and I worked on the game, so there's a lot of content in this game. It's basically a big just tribute to old school gaming and just games in general. And you can just tell looking at the game that they had fun making it. This is an incredible game, and every Wii owner owes it to themselves to play it. It's seriously one of my favorite Nintendo games of all time, let alone favorite Wii games.